What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Because the prices inside of our market for gems inside of Diablo Immortal are so low right now, it is a buyer's market. If you have platinum, now is a great time to try and pick up some legendary gems, specifically some 5-star legendary gems. So I decided that I would put a list together of some of the best legendary gems in my opinion, in case you're on the fence and you don't know which ones you want to pick up. Let's also take a look at some of these prices right now, starting with the Seeping Bile. Check this out, 16,000 platinum for a 2-star Seeping Bile. Even beyond that, 24,000, 30,000 for a 3-star. These are incredibly low prices. If we want to take a look at the Blood-Soaked Jade, 35,000, 36,000 platinum for a 2-star. We've never seen prices this low before. Here, 45,000 for a 3-star Blood-Soaked Jade. If you have platinum in your bags and you're holding it to spend on something, now's the time to do it. So what gems, in my opinion, are worth it? But I think that first we should talk about utility of them and what we're actually building for. As the game sits right now, it's pretty easy to run around and do open world farming. You don't need anything crazy as far as gems go to be highly effective. So for me, when I put my build together, I don't focus on gems that I would need for farming. I do just fine utilizing the gems that I'm using currently that could also be dual purposed for PvP as well. As you can see, I'm going with the Viper's Bite, Blood-Soaked Jade, Fervent Fang, Pain Clasp, 3 of those 2-star gems. We have the Seeping Bile, Void Spark, the Bottled Hope, and the Gloom Cask gem. These are the ones that I like to use right now. But let's look at the market and see, out of the 5-star gems and your 8 slots that you have to fill, what are some of the best options that you have? Now, of course, with so many gems to choose from, it really is up to your choice and what gems you like. But the purpose of this video is for me to share with you the ones that I like. And there's no reason that you should be running all 5-star gems either. You definitely can go ahead and use some 2-star gems, or if you're free to play and really want to get things ranked up quickly, you could rock some of these 1-star gems, some of which actually have some great utility and really do a nice job inside of your build specific. But we want to focus on the 5-stars today because that's really where you can get great value in purchasing in the market now. Let's start out with the #1 best gem inside of the game, and that's the Blood-Soaked Jade. Why do I love this one? And I'm not even focusing on resonance here today. Resonance is the power that you gain from the gems. I'm talking about the actual utility of the gem itself. Let's read. Increases all damage you deal by 8% while at full life, with a minimum bonus of 4% while at low life. It also increases your movement speed by 10%. This is something that happens all the time. No cooldown, no 20 seconds it can happen. It is always on, dealing more damage and making you faster. Now, I do notice that once you do get this speed boost, it's very hard to go back and not have that speed boost in your build. Specifically if you're someone that likes to be quick, be mobile, be agile in the game. And then when you unlock rank 3 of the gem, very easy to do, or fairly easy, it takes 2% decreased damage while below 50% life. That means when you're below life, you're taking less damage, but still dealing more. And then when you unlock rank 5, increases the chance to find magic items by 15%. That's my favorite gem in the game. My second favorite is the Bottled Hope. I think this gem also has some amazing utility. When you use a skill to grant a buff, it increases the damage and movement speed of the target by 8%. Again, doing more damage, faster movement, and it does that for 6 seconds. This one can't occur more often than once every 20 seconds. Now, when you rank it up to rank 3, it decreases the cooldown on all of your skills by 1.5%. You could use your skills more often. And then at rank 5, you increase your chance to find magic items by 15%. Very strong gem here. We see it used in many builds across the game. Very valuable, really, with any class that you're playing. Now let's talk about some PvP specific gems. If you want to go in and do some player versus player action, Rolling Consequence is probably one you're going to want to take along with you. Dealing damage sends you into a rolling rage for 6 seconds, during which your critical hit chance is increased by 12%. That is massive when we're talking about crit. And critical hits cause a fiery explosion that burns nearby enemies for 36% base damage, over 3 seconds. These explosions can't occur more than once every 1 second, and rolling rage can't trigger more often than once every 20 seconds. And when you get this ranked up to rank 3, your critical hit chance against burning enemies is increased by 3%. Again, that's massive. And again, the magic find is increased at rank 5. Very big PvP gem here. One that we see a lot of people using, has a lot of value. It really is a great one. And another pretty much must use in PvP is the Starfire Shard. When you deal damage, you have a 30% chance to rain meteorites in an area that knocks back enemies, dealing 200% base damage plus 2,000 in total. Can't occur more often than every 20 seconds, but what a lot of these do, well, they will stun enemies, they will knock back or make your opponents not be able to move. It'll bind them up where you can then drop tons of damage on them. This is why this is very important inside of PvP. You want to lock up your opponents. And here, the meteorites also scorch the ground, burning enemies in the area and dealing 10% base damage every second, which unlocks at rank 3. And again, magic find at rank 5. Starfire Shard, Rolling Consequence, both big gems for PvP. So that's 4 of the 8. There are a bunch more that I really like though as well. Let's start with the Void Spark. This one is great because it just damages everything around you. Definitely a bit more of a PvE gem, but has its utility in PvP as well. I wear it because it's amazing when I'm out there farming. It's just a fun gem. Dealing damage, conjures a Void Spark for 6 seconds. While the Void Spark is active, dealing damage has a 30% chance to unleash lightning chains on up to 8 enemies, dealing 45% damage plus 450 to each enemy. Lightning strikes can only trigger once every second. Conjuring a Void Spark can only occur once every 20 seconds. And when ranked up to rank 3, while Void Spark is active, your attack speed is increased by 4%. Really a fun gem. It has a lot of utility in different areas of the game, and it's honestly one of my favorites. Now, another one I really like also is the Gloom Cask. Especially if you're playing as a melee character, this gives you a little bit more range, I guess you could say. Your primary attack unleashes an aspect of gloom for 6 seconds, during which time your primary attacks will trigger gloom blades that deal 30% base damage plus 275. Cannot occur more often than once every 20 seconds. Also, enemies hit by gloom blades take 6% increased damage from your primary attacks for 3 seconds. That unlocks at rank 3. Seeping Bile is an OG gem. It's been a great one. Even with Viper's Bite coming into the game, it's nice to stack the 2-star Viper's Bite with the 5-star Seeping Bile. Here, your attacks have a 4% chance to poison enemies, inflicting 25% base damage plus 250 every second for 6 seconds. The poison spreads to nearby enemies if the victim dies. Can't affect the same target more often than once every 20 seconds. Now, at rank 3, the poison also decreases enemy movement speed by 6% as well. So while we're gaining movement speed from our Bottled Hope and our Blood-Soaked Jade, our opponents, our enemies, are losing their movement speed, giving us even more of an advantage. Love Seeping Bile. It's been popular since day one. And lastly, I really do like Maw of the Deep. It's also one that's very cheap in the market right now. Dealing damage conjures a whirlpool at the enemy's location that pulls nearby enemies to its center. After 2 seconds, a massive sea monster erupts from the whirlpool, dealing 140% damage and 1700 to all nearby enemies, knocking them airborne. This one can't happen more often than every 20 seconds, but it is another one that will stun your enemies and allow you to have the advantage for a few seconds on them. Then at rank 3, the sea monster also destroys enemy armor for 6 seconds, increasing the damage they take from you by 6%, so you could essentially strip them of their armor, which is also quite nice. Plus, this one has a really cool visual effect that I really do like. Hope this video helped you guys prioritize some of the gems that you should be looking at inside of the game. Again, these are my opinion. Others may have different, but I know that a lot of the ones I mentioned here today are fan favorites. If you enjoyed the video, throw a like on it, and I'll see you back here tomorrow in my next video.